darlings. Preparing for Project Management Day, I was thinking about how I consider project management has sometimes been different how other people think of it, or at least there's different levels of it. So I'm coming to you today in scrubs, and this is what made me think about it. I was asked, a year ago now, to implement COVID-19 clinical trials for the first time ever across a very large research site. And this took a lot of project management. It also took a lot of change management. And so that is one of the differences I see in how project management can look from beginner, intermediate, and advanced. So in beginner, I see a lot of people doing follow-up, right? You're checking behind, someone said they were going to do something, you're maybe holding them to a timeline. And accountability is absolutely critical to any project, absolutely. However, the ideal is that we would have people on our teams who are accountable already, and that what we're really looking for is something that's more intermediate or even advanced. So at intermediate, you're working on logistics and timelines and budgets, but also some of the strategies, and what could we do better? Where is there waste in the process? How could the process be better in general? Is it efficient and effective between departments? This all goes into the concept of waste in the project management domain. Then I think there is the advanced, which really gets to change management. Because whether you're talking about getting a new trial type working in a clinical trial site, or a new business line happening in a service industry, or implementing new software, you're really asking your people to change what they're doing, and change is difficult. So this reminded me that I was interviewed by the wonderful Michael Causey at the Association of Clinical Research Professionals, ACRP, last year about change management. And I would love to share that with you today because we had a great conversation, and I think it really, not that my interview was so great, but I think the concepts around change management can take your project management to a whole new level if you're at a beginner intermediate stage. So I hope you enjoy it.
Christine, thank you for joining us today.
What a great intro. Thank you, Michael.
Completely heartfelt. All right, so let's talk about change management. Obviously, there's a lot of change. There's always change. It's inevitable, but that overused phrase, now more than ever, we're all dealing with a lot of change. And a lot of people don't like change. They're nervous about it. They like things the way they are, but often it's not a choice. So let's talk about some of your thoughts on the importance of change management. First off, give us some of your insights, because you're an expert. You've written on this a lot for ACRP and other folks, and presented as well. So let's pick your brain a little bit and talk a little bit about change management.
Yeah, thank you. I do love change management. I think it's putting together my psychology background with my interest in project management. So studies in psychology and economics show that people are more afraid of what they might lose, even if they don't value that thing very much. They're more afraid of what they might lose than what they might gain through a change. So it seems to me that change is hardwired into us to be scary, which kind of suggests that everybody's afraid of change, but that's not true at all. That some people love what's scary, the people who love roller coasters, skydiving, risky investing. And so you end up with different people. So it's hardwired us to be scary, but some people love scary. Well, if you have a large company, then you have a lot of different types of people. So the more specific, the question might be, why is getting people to change hard? And I think it's because we make the mistake of thinking everyone's alike. I've worked with managers who just assume their people will be afraid of change. So their approach to change is timid, cautious. It lacks a vision. You're going to lose a lot of people with that approach. You're going to also gain a lot of people with that approach. I've worked with managers who think everything about change is an opportunity. It's the most incredible thing. And they assume their people will automatically jump to change. Well, we know that's not true. So both camps are right and wrong.
Okay. So it sounds like one of the things is, don't assume people are like you. As a manager, which is good advice in life and everything. But what are some ways maybe to gauge your people? How do you recognize different, some people will obviously show aversion to change or grumble or whatever, but how do you as a manager or as a leader of a team, sort of assess the people around you and read them, in other words, I guess?
That's a great question. I've thought about this a lot because our company started as a small company and it was very easy to get to know everyone. But you get to a point where you have to put out a change to people maybe you haven't even met yet. And I think that's especially true. We've done a lot of hiring over the past few months but we work virtually now. So there are people on our team we don't really know. I think that if you know the axiom that you'll never be liked by everybody, you alluded to. Well, I think the same thing is true of your messages. Your messages will also never be liked by everybody. So what I go with is that your best chance of success is to communicate the change message from enough different perspectives that everyone can feel that some part of your message speaks to them. So I'll give you some examples. And this comes from the process communication model, which is such a boring name. Sorry, and I won't go really far into it.
But you can a better acronym or something.
Right.
Or something. It needs something. Yeah.
Process. Yeah, it's really super boring name. So we definitely won't talk about it, but it's a good model for just thinking about people. It's not an overwhelmingly great model. It's just a way to think. So like some people are planners and they need to hear timelines. If they have a timeline, they can work through the change because they start planning that change out in their head. Some people embrace change as long as they believe you are authentic and telling them the truth. You just have to believe in you, which I say just like that's easy, but that can be the main thing, right? Others are called harmonizers. They want to know that the company cares about them, supports their colleagues who are their friends. A pretty cool group in any department is the dreamers. They're the visionaries who thrive on sharing the ideas. So when they hear the change, they have this thing about like, how can I contribute? Which is completely different than other types of people. And then there are the doers. Basically, all you need to say is, we're doing this. Here's the direction. It's time to go. And they're off and running.
Christine, are there any universal tips or tips that could apply to everyone?
Yeah, definitely. So one is to always start with what's not going to change. I think of what's not going to change becomes the box, and that box becomes the framework for everything else you're going to say after that. So if it's nobody is going to lose their job, immediately everything you say is within the box of my job is protected. What's not going to change is our company culture. And now everything else is within that. It gives a lot of security. So always start with what's not going to change. I would also say inspire people. Don't be vague though. They need some specifics, but talk about changes and opportunity and really paint the picture of the future. Lastly, I'd say remember that people are capable of handling more than you think. Everybody, even people who love change, and I'm one of those people, I adore change. Everybody has some fear. So when you address the fears by speaking to their language, whether it's planner or whatever, then you help them overcome it, hop on board. And fundamentally, everyone wants to be part of a group and they want to be on board with the change. They just need to help have it happen.
Wow. Okay. Thank you. Well, as we all know, we're all going through a lot of change right now. No sign of it changing anytime soon. Well timed. We've been talking with Christine Senn, ACRP TV Spotlight on Change Management. Christine Senn, a great friend to ACRP.